Appreciate everybody tuning in, whether you're here during the live or you're watching after. I greatly appreciate it. What I'm going to do here, this isn't the typical live. If you're looking for the normal live at 7:47 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you're more than welcome to join me in a few hours, about 3.5 hours from now. Terry, I appreciate that. But this is just going to be some TA real quick, the price analysis for the day for XRP, and then we're going to go through a market analysis real quick. So I'll just call it the midday market report as I put in the title. And it's for, so let me just timestamp this. Good mid-afternoon, 4:34 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Thursday, September 14th, 2023. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. Josh, welcome in. I appreciate you tuning in during this little live. So what I want to do is I want to go over XRP, the market cap, and then we'll take a quick look at Bitcoin, but then we're going to take a look around the market. As we can see, at 105.33 is the US dollar currency index. In fact, we'll talk about it. Actually, we might talk about it later. We'll talk about probably more later. But USD coin passed XRP in market capitalization. So I just want to do this for a price analysis, but later we'll talk about it on tonight's live. Good afternoon, Michael. Welcome in. So XRP right now is over the 484. We talked about for a few days. As long we would need to reclaim 484, and then we would try to attempt 51 cents, but only if we can get past this short-term level, which we're finally over, which is right at about 49 cents. So we got over 49 cents. So now that we reclaim that level, what could be happening is if we take it out a little bit longer, this breakdown, we could be retesting this pattern breakdown that we finally had. And it lines up perfectly in the daily time frame with the 20-day after a death cross. So what it looks like to me is we're probably trending up to that 508 level. Now that can be invalidated at any time if you get a proper rejection at the 484 level and come back down. Some would even say it's 49 cents, but I would like a proper rejection at 484, just so we know then we're coming down to the rising channel. And then after that, if we break the 453 properly and, obviously confirm it or just run through it, your next level of support, you do have the swing low at 437 or 434, depending on which charts you look at. But after you break the swing low, then you come to the 2020 uptrend at 38 cents approximately. But that can't happen until this immediate pattern is broken. And right now it looks like we're going to back test this dot cross here and at least back test the 20-day, which is completely normal, which is why we've talked about if you were going to go short, you would try to do it up in this area. Possibly, if it played out, you might have an opportunity where it could back test and play all the way up into here. But honestly, I think the over one would be here, and then you would likely get shot back down here in a very dramatic fashion, in fact. Because in my video this morning, for anybody who watched the technical analysis, we talked about XRP, and after a short rally, how we would end up going down 11.6 to 21.4%. It's hard to say exactly where. If it goes down to the rising channel support, it'll only be about 11% drop. But if it goes to the 2020 uptrend, you're talking about a better than 20%, better than 21. So that's what we're looking at right now. It looks like we're going to try to backtest this area, though. That's what it looks like. So until then, we're kind of stuck in limbo. I appreciate everybody who's tuning in. 8 likes. Make sure to hit that like button, as we'll greatly help push this, not just during the live, because we're not going to be here very long during the live, but after this live goes out. Because right now I'm just doing it like a normal update, but in a live fashion. That's it. That's the only difference. So if you want to say anything, if you want to join Tom's Army, if you want to send a YouTube super chat, or if you simply just want to share this live, it'd be a great time to start now. DXY at 105.334, up about 0.55% or 58 cents on the day. As we know, we hit that rising channel support, and now that we got over 105.30, our next layer should be up to 106 now, approximately 106.06, but we're looking for a firm rejection, as this will meet it eventually, but we're looking for a firm rejection up here at around the 106.847. Now if they have higher ambitions here and we get a parabolic rally, which could easily bring XRP down to 38 cents. Con, welcome in. Michael, good afternoon. Appreciate you tuning in. As I've been saying, if you want to see my normal live, 7:47 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we go more in depth, but this is just a midday market report. Yep, that same thing I'm thinking, Terry. Anything above 50 cents is a good short up in there. Obviously, you have to have a stop loss somewhere if you play it, but that's the area to start looking. But maybe they have a rally with the U.S. dollar going into the end of the year before the BRICS take over, and they try to de-dollarize, and we go up to 109. Because I think they're doing this with the U.S. The U.S. has to make this look better than it is, and as bad as prices are, could you imagine if the dollar was at 94? Right now, it's at least overinflated. So that's what we're looking at here. So with this, just pay attention to the dollar. If we break out of the rising channel to the top side, 109 would be on tap. But right now, you're looking at a firm 106.84 in that area. But it looks like we're in positioning now, because if we take a little jank bull flag here, or at least look at this, it looks like we've got a little setup here, especially because we came down and held that rising channel, the rising channel support. Off the rising channel, that's the move technically. So just if you take a true measurement, we should be coming up into that 106.36 range. So, or, I mean, you can wait until it comes to the top, and that would be the breakout. But I think this is telling us already, it's pretty much telegraphed. It's going to have a similar move up that it had before, and it looks like we're going to come into that area. It honestly does. So we could even move it to the side and just say, oh, that's what it's doing, just so it's not out in the middle. But it looks like we're coming up like that. That's really what it looks like. So if that's the case, it's going to give the U.S. or the crypto market every ability to come down here. Every ability. And with the Dow, we're up to 34,907 still. That's a big... That's another one. It's overvalued, overinflated. They turned on the printing presses today. The moment we break this formation, it's a problem. But right now, is there any doubt that this is going to go up to the next level? I could easily see 40,000. Everybody keeps saying to short the market. You know what I don't hear anybody talking about today is Michael Berry. They've been talking about him, but now we've invalidated at least the short-term move in the daily. So we'll see how far they want to overinflate this market. But do you think the Fed's just going to give up now? I don't. Oil's up. With crude oil is up to $90.66 a barrel. I mean, that's pushing it now. The 10-year yield's up again at 4.29. Gold-silver ratio is a fantastic buy for silver right now, 84.361. Welcome in, everybody. Make sure to hit that like button. I appreciate you watching this midday market report. But make sure you hit that like button. It is the only way to push this through the analytics. I don't have a marketing budget, so it's on each of us. It really is. We got gold right now, which we're still at a pivotal level, but we got rejected in here not too long ago. So the fact we got rejected by 1940, I still think we're going to not invalidate this death cross. I think that's going to play true. And you know why? Because what are we looking at with the U.S. dollar? We have a golden cross. So like I said, if we got rejected at 1940, we're likely coming to 1840. That's not because I want it to go there. That's not because I'm a time traveler and I know what's going to happen next. That's because that's the way it's going to play out. There's nothing we can do about that. We take advantage of it next level. So, Ben, welcome in. Sean Crothers, welcome in. My main man from Maine. Tom, Marcus from UK. I not been in lives for a minute. That's okay. Nizar, thank you so much. But if you guys are looking for more like this every single day, it might be 10 minutes, it might be 20 minutes, it might be 7 minutes, it might be 27 minutes. I'm going to be doing a XRP price analysis, but also a midday market report, which isn't just crypto, because I'll also get through XLM and Bitcoin before we're done. But I'm also going to go through the midday market report, and that's how I'm going to start involving gold and silver, and looking at the 10-year yield, and looking at the U.S. Crude oil, and the U.S. dollar, and the Dow, and getting into a few commodities, and letting you actually look and hear me say on a daily basis, hey, I don't care how many people watch this live, but pay attention to the gold-silver ratio right now. Pay attention to the fact that crude oil is over $90 a barrel. But if you're looking to invest your U.S. dollar as it's overinflated right now, watch this breakdown we're going to have in precious metals. So anybody who appreciates his precious metals, come watch the midday market report. This is when you're going to get my precious metals. I've been thinking long and hard about this, and I don't know what time during the day, but it's going to be sometime midday. That's all I can say. And during the weekend, there might not be a midday market report because guess what? There's no futures market. But Monday through Friday, I fully anticipate and expect myself now to do a midday market report starting today. So if you're watching right now, whether it's in live, or if you're in the comments, let me know what you think about that new expansion. Trading with J-Ride, thank you so much for the $10 donation. That means so much to me. You have no idea. No, it's never the wrong time to ask the questions about the bricks. I'll get into that in just a sec, but I don't want to lose my train of thought. But the gold-silver ratio, 84.34, that means you get 84 ounces of silver, 84.3 to 1 ounce of gold. However, as we've talked about with the gold, this is the gold-silver ratio. I mean, this is gold. So watch gold, because if this comes down, we have to see how closely paralleled silver's, I never finished my thought, how closely paralleled silver's drop is to gold, and see if that ratio expands or it comes a little closer. This is a bad sign for gold short term. Good for us. This just means that it validates what we're saying with the US dollar. The US dollar is going to go up probably to 109. Maybe it gets cut off at 106.60 or 80, but it looks like it might have a date with 109. But with what's coming up next, gold's preparing for a move to probably, if you measure this out properly, gold, just like the move with the US dollar, and I don't talk enough about this stuff, which is why, you guessed it, we're doing the midday market report now together every day during the week, starting today. It gets you down to about that 1840 level if you just look. If we look at the breakdown, son of a. But if we look at the breakdown, the proper breakdown. Hey, Garrett, welcome in. Might not be the time, but curious about your conviction regarding January bricks. My conviction is it's all but a done deal that is when the true de-dollarization starts. How quickly they do it, nobody knows. But they've already agreed to start dumping the dollar in government bonds. And January 1st is when most of them are going to do it. So whether it's one collaborative effort, or if they actually do something on what I've told everybody, does anybody remember the date? November 1st is a conspiracy or theoretical date that the BRICS are going to start dumping U.S. government bonds, the U.S. dollar, the notes, and there's rumors they're starting to put them in wheelbarrows and getting rid of them. Well, somebody's exchanging it for gold. You want to bet? You want to know who that is and why it was so important? That's Saudi Arabia. They said before, you turn in your junk U.S. dollars in the beginning for gold, or for the petro, and if you bring that in, or your own native currency, whichever one you want, we'll exchange it for gold so that we start putting it back on the gold back standard. That's not me saying this. This is actually happening. So that's a good question. Now, I don't want to get into that too much, but 1840 here for the gold silver, or for gold, which what would that do for the gold silver ratio? Excellent question. So we go into the gold silver ratio. Gold silver ratio is going a little bit of a spike here. Remember, we have this down here because that's the overextension of the broken formation, but that allows us, if we hold that overextension, to still bounce back within and use this as your upper resistance. So now that we bounce back in here with a pretty convicting W reversal, which actually is a nice W reversal, we got a little bit of a pull down on the right side, which is extremely bullish. Someone could call it a Gartley. We won't go that far because we're not going to get into the terminology. But we hit this uptrending support. Chuck, welcome in from Detroit, my friend. I too am in here from the great state of Michigan. I'm actually not too far from you. I'm in Oakland County. So I'm actually your brother into the north. Or I guess depending on where you're at in Detroit. Not too far, like 25 minutes depending on which part of Detroit. 30 minutes maybe with traffic. 83.4 on the gold ratio, gold silver ratio, which means if it bounces in here, that's your top end potential up here. Am I saying that? Absolutely not. Probably, that's if gold comes to 1840. This means that silver is going to lose steam in relation to gold. That means we're looking at what this means. We haven't looked at silver, right? But what this means right now, the fact that gold silver ratio looks like it's about to bounce parabolically here for a minute, that means gold's going to outperform silver. Well, how can that be? Gold's on its way down to what looks like 1840 if we got this proper rejection, which it looks like we did. that means silver is going to have a bigger drop. That's what gets missed on a lot of the market. Unless this is a fake out and we come back through. But that looks like a little bit of a flag there that we're at least going to have to pay the bills to 88.90. So if it only goes to 88.90, the ratio, and we'll get into silver, but this is how we build in, gold would likely get stopped at support at about 18.83. So if it gets stopped, it would get stopped maybe a little bit lower, because what you can see is we're forming this little bit, and this is good. These are good, because these are bullish reversals if they don't break it. If it continues this, I'm going to say we're starting some, I'm not going to speculate, I'm just going to show you what it looks like to me. Working in Ferndale, absolutely, you're right down the road, geez. Small world we live in indeed. This is what we're working on right now with gold. So if you don't want gold to break down to 1840, you got to stay within this formation. It's just that simple. You break that formation, we know the target is 1840, first layer. Now, if we break that and we use this, just remember, if we use this pattern formation as the rejection, that means technically it could actually be a little bit, I don't know if I want to use that whole thing though if we're going to do that. I always like to be a little bit on the shorter side just so that we don't get screwed here. I would say that it could play you down to 1796 if you drop out of this pattern properly. So just consider that. So are we really moving to 1840 or 1796 on a breakdown? The only way not to have that breakdown is if 1880 holds in that area. So that's about the best I can do for you in the short term for gold. Yes or no, is this helping? Do you appreciate the midday market report? Crypto Solo Scrooge, welcome in. Matt, welcome in. Wow, 6258. Make sure to hit that like button. That will greatly help push this report as we're coming to the end of it here, because I'm going to do my live at 7:47. So please make sure you hit the like button. Please make sure that you share this far and wide. I'm going to expand the title so that it shows gold and silver and everything else. But I wanted to go live. I can mess with that after. So, and then with silver, the last thing we need to know on this market report. Silver, as we know, is breaking down, and we already knew that by looking at the gold-silver ratio. The fact gold was going down. Thank you, Terry. I appreciate that greatly. I really do. Make sure you watch Crypto Solo Scrooge as well if you're watching Sologenic. Most definitely like middays. Appreciate that. I do appreciate that. Thank you, Solo Scrooge, as well. Plus, I gotta go soon because we're making homemade chicken noodle soup, and Julie made homemade bread today too, which is fantastic. I appreciate that, Terry. I've been trying to figure out a way to include everything I want to talk about, and I'm more than XRP, so the midday market report will be a way for everybody to see it, and the fact 60 of you are still tuning in is impressive. 41 likes, I think we can do better than that. I think this content's worth more than 41 likes, and I'll just say that. If you don't want to hit the like button, you can always hit that subscribe button, join Tom's Army, or you can send a YouTube super chat. But any way you want to show support outside of hitting the like button is in the video description below and or pinned comments after the video uploads. So just look there and you can send a donation, or you can do it now. You can send a YouTube super chat. But what I'm getting the point is hit that like button. That's you doing your due diligence. It's all you have to do. It's free, and then hit that share. Hit share it to your social media. The more that share this link, the farther it goes. Serdar, welcome in. I greatly appreciate you, and I respect all of you enough to not have paid promotions, paid advertisements, or paid sponsorships of any kind. So I think you should respect me enough to hit the like button. How about that? Thank you very much. So with silver, we already anticipated it was coming down, and this is how I do my analysis. I work from the outer to the in. So I already had a base perception of what I thought silver was going to do in my mind before we got here. However, that might not be what's going to happen. You could have a nice run up here if it doesn't break down, because we're still in a little bit of a flag. But the problem is we're below what we've already dissected in the formation, below that 22 spot 75 area. The problem with that is now you're within the formation, and a quick rejection there could get you back down here to 21 spot 32. That could be that small drop we're seeing down to 1880 area with gold first layer. And that's how the gold-silver ratio gets bigger, because that would be a bigger drop for silver than gold by a pretty steep amount. It would get you more than 4 more bars of silver for the same amount of gold. And then, if gold goes down to about 1840, you're looking at about $20 an ounce for silver. So yeah, it's a little bit more of a dramatic drop. So now, with those two variables, that's your two parts to the gold-silver ratio. That's how we learn. That's how we teach. But I certainly don't need to charge for it. I certainly don't need to make you pay a course, and I certainly don't need to make you pay to watch a whole bunch of useless advertising. Now, if YouTube chooses to advertise, so be it. But I'm not going to grab an outside source. But after all, that's the only way my content gets out, is because YouTube thinks they can make money off of me. So just consider that. So that's what you're looking at for silver. Much like gold, if that breaks down, we know our layers. Remember, we just talked about this. It's so easy. It's easy. You don't even have to be stressed out. God, the market's so easy when you know what you're doing. And when you're all collected and there's no negativity, positivity. That's why we do positivity over negativity, no emotion. This isn't me speaking. So when I say what the pattern's going to do, I'm not speaking from personal emotion. In fact, you can't even judge me because I'm just reading off the screen. I just happen to know how to draw the patterns out. So you all benefit from it if you pay attention, because then you can draw the patterns out. So then when you watch somebody else, if they're trying to pull your leg or if they're being genuine, you'll know. Why? Because you understand technical analysis, and that's what we're trying to do here, or what you're supposed to be doing if you're an influencer. Unfortunately, most of them are in it for the mighty dollar. Well, we can make the mighty dollar together, because if we properly invest, guess what? That's what it's called, investing. We take a little bit of money and we turn it into a lot of money because we invested properly. Well, if I do that properly myself over the last 6 years to where I could quit a job, shouldn't I be able to at least split the bill to where you can at least watch me and then donate on your own basis if you're learning or making something, not through a paid sponsorship or paid revenue share or advertising? Revenue I definitely should get because I'm a partner. So if they want to pay me for all the advertising they do on my channel, which is less than $1,000 a month right now, FYI, I'll take that. But I won't do the paid sponsorships, the paid advertisements, or, you know, I just don't want to do any of that stuff. I just don't. I don't want to be bought and paid for. And I have a lot of people tell me you can get so much farther ahead. I disagree. I make a lot of bonds like this, so nothing compares to integrity. More people will stay that way. I don't need phonies, and I don't want to be a phony, so you know what I say about that? Like I always do. So right now with silver, that's what we're looking at. If we break this uptrending support, we're going to come down here to about 21.20. If we come down a little bit lower, we'll come down to about $20. You fill this out, the apex, if you fall down to here, the apex breakout point would be about March of 24. So just consider that. We could fall into here for some months. This could also dictate that this gold-silver ratio is going to go up. But this also dictates that the dollar might actually have this parabolic spike going into early next year. So Terry, to answer your question, based on what the precious metals are showing us, we're looking at a surge likely, unless we get a quick reversal here going into the end of the year for the dollar. Now for silver, you can see we have potential to break out, but we have an M-topping reversal, and this could be an overextended right shoulder, right arm. You know, kind of like if you ever watched Squidward, when he was doing like the update on SpongeBob, or the episode of SpongeBob when they were doing like a fundraiser, and he did his little thing, that's like his tentacle arm. I know most people won't know it, and I'm probably showing my date and how old I am, because that was back in the late 90s, that episode. But, you know, it is what it is. I'm proud of where I'm at. I'm proud to be 40 in December. You know why? Because whether I'm 25 or 76, my 13-year-old that I see, or a 13-year-old we see walking down the road, may not outlive my 88-year-old grandpa. You just never know. So each day's precious. So I take every day as a challenge. I get up, I walk to the gym every single day, and yeah, I was injured for 2 months. I started 2 weeks before Halloween. I got back into working out and everything. And now for the last, I did my 9th workout today, but I walk. I don't ride a bike anymore. I don't drive either because of my left eye, but I could easily get a ride. I don't do that. So what I decide to do is I walk the 1.6 miles. But that's what I got for today, everybody. If you appreciate this, please share this. I'm going to get the kids some ice cream because they deserve it. Have a blessed day, and if you want to come back and join me, 7:47 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.